The Nimzowitsch defense is a strong, aggressive opening played very rarely by black. It all starts when white plays an opening move, say for example e4. To this, black would respond with knight c6, initiating the Nimzowitsch defense. It is very common to see white play pawn d4, as it controls the center, with the queen reinforcing it. But now we counterstrike with pawn e5. Here, if white takes our pawn, we can recapture with the knight, gaining a more centralized knight and an easy way to control the center. However, a much more challenging response by white is that if they push their d-pawn forward to d5, we could play the knight safely to e7, and it may look like that white has better central control and development. However, many variants in the Nimzowitsch defense lead to positive outcomes for black, for instance material or positional. A common response by white is to play c4, reinforcing the central pawns. To this, knight g6 is very often looked over. We have rerouted the knight to the king side, and in the future an attack would be brutal with the concentration of attacking pieces. White would usually play a developing move, for instance the knight. Black would now develop the dark squared bishop, either to c5, where it would attack the king side, or b4, where it would pin the knight to the queen. Now white would play another move, and we would develop our second knight, which enforces this idea of pushing the king side. Plus, once we push the d-pawn forward, our light squared bishop will also be in on the attack. In this position, the most common move for white to play is the move knight to e2, which may look simple at first, but has some devastating effects. We play our knight forward to g4, attacking the f2 square, paired by our bishop. In most cases, white would respond by castling, which is the safest option. We could theoretically bring in the queen, as our knight maneuver has opened up the diagonal. If we play the queen to h4, we significantly increase the pressure on h2 and f2. White has to first defend the threat on h2, which is done by pushing the pawn forward. However, our aim was different. We play our knight to f2, picking up a pawn, and also attacking a couple of white's pieces. White has to take, otherwise it would be devastating. They take with the rook, and we recapture with the queen, forcing the king to escape. As black, we could push the d-pawn, opening up the bishop's diagonal, or something more beneficial would be to play knight to h4. We are threatening mate, therefore, if white does defend it, say by queen to h1, we can play knight to f3, delivering mate. White may also play rook to f1, defending the pawn. It is losing as we can collect the free pawn on h2, however something more slick is knight to h4, attacking the g2 pawn. White could push the pawn forward, however there is a checkmate on f3.